let's come back to our leagues, the ones that are resuming. What is going to happen this weekend? We had something that we were supposed to discuss about. I was supposed to get individual views on this, but then Tunde decided to say that Newcastle is not as good as PSG, and then we got sidetracked. So today, that we seem to be going in the same direction. Uh, Please, my guys from Syria, I need you to help me out with this. What's going on with Napoli? One win in the last 7 games, winless in all of February. Are they crumbling like Liverpool are crumbling?
There's nothing you cannot kick a man that is down. There's nothing to crumble. You cannot crumble when you're already crumbled. The thing is, the league was for Inter to lose. I I didn't expect that the almighty Conte would have not been able to manage just one competition. It was just in one competition. Just
Okay, that's the
win the league.
disappointing thing. So that's the disappointing part of
How
this.
how the mighty are fallen.
However, I'm a bit surprised that we're expecting much because he goes to a team, fights with 2 or 3 of their best players, brings in some player to prove some points. He will lose and then he will say, "Oh, I wasn't given money to do this and that." That has always been the story at every team he has gone to. He said the same thing in
But he
Tottenham.
did.
Said the same thing
He
in
did.
Inter Milan.
He
He
did
sold.
complaining.
He said when he came, he disposed two players that were the major engine rooms of the team. That's
Oh,
um
remind me, please.
Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen. He said he didn't want any
Osimhen.
of them. So you can't dispose those players. Who did he replace them with?
Same here now.
Is it Rasparadi and Rasparadi has always been there.
Sporadic.
And Abi
Rasparadi.
Nnamdi, Abi, what's his
Raspi.
name again?
Yankomo. Abi? Raspadori, not
Okay.
Rasparadi. Ah.
It's Raspadori.
Nandi.
Yeah,
Ah.
Yeah.
Raspadori and
But wait, when he came to
and
Chelsea,
and
he didn't do
Lukaku.
the same thing.
He did. He did.
What did he dispose of when he first came to Chelsea? His first season in Chelsea.
He did. He did. But they managed to. What they managed to.
Managed. They were brilliant that season actually. With that 3-5-2, Victor Moses from the wing back positions.
That is another problem. That's another problem that I have with him. He's not flexible. He doesn't know how to tweak games in the middle. Once you get his tactics, you get his tactics. There's nothing else he's going to do. He will insist on. He will die on the mountain of that tactics till Jesus comes.
He's giving
Is it
Enzo
the reason why he
Maresca.
cannot
But
score Venezia?
let me give our fans one tip for the, and that is
So
the fact
weird
that
tips.
they will beat Milan. They will beat Milan. It doesn't matter. No matter how terrible they are, they will beat Milan.
That was the next thing I was going to. That was the next thing I was going to ask you. What you think will happen against AC Milan?
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people that wish that the international break never ended. If you look at Milan's next 5, let me pull it up. Next 5 to 6 fixtures, bro. I'm 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 very scared for Milan, and I don't know how they are going to manage not in the remaining
But
in
that's my
those five
thing.
games.
My thing is
If,
this: is there a reason why they could not even score against Venezia?
but they tried their best
Eyeglass
now.
to
Their
that.
best just wasn't good enough. Their
Eyeglass
best
zero
wasn't good enough.
0.
I said, can you hear me?
Can you hear you say the
Can
best
you
was
can
not
you
good
guys hear me?
enough?
Okay, so our next fixture is Napoli, Inter in the Copa, Fiorentina, Udinese, and Atalanta, and then we are playing Inter again. Uh, so when I look at the fixture, I keep and pray we can play like 5 weeks of international break, so that at least my heart
but
can be in
but
one
after the
place.
international break, you have
Then
to come back and play these things now.
I
Hey,
have
how
to
do you
come
stop
back to
laughing like
reality.
that?
The reality is back now.
Arsenal is not in a better position. Oh. Arsenal is in
Who?
technically the same position.
No, Arsenal is not in that. happens, their fate that they are not winning anything this season. So, but we are still even fighting to make the top four. So you can imagine how poor we are. So it is what it is. But then, uh, all the blame goes to the management. That's what
Hold
I'll
on,
talk
hold
to.
on.
Then I move on.
AC Milan needs a striker.
Fair enough.
AC Milan needs a
We will,
defender.
on the night of April, we will know who needs a striker at the end of the day.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Nnamdi, help me out here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
On the back of all this talk of Conte being very, very stiff, rigid, and having Scott McTominay as the best player in the world in his team, and Raspadori. Yeah. What do you think? What are their Scudetto hopes? Because after all said and done, they're just 1 point. It's just 1 point between them and Inter Milan.
One match actually.
Yeah, one
I
match. So
would
it's not
respect.
like it's
I
not
would
like
respect
it's not like 12 points like Arsenal. So
my. No, that I would respect myself and just back Inter.
so that's the safe bet. Okay. Right. So no hope. So everybody feels that Simone is not going to falter, is not going to sleep. Or do you think that if Simone sleeps, if Inter sleep,
He's very consistent, and his team is they are really organized.
They are very
Um,
compact. So
they're very
so they're
compact. They
well coached?
manage games extremely well. Yeah, so you can't really. There's no strong leeway
I think the only
for
fear,
such
the only fear
falling
that the
down.
team has at the moment is fatigue. A good number of their players are starters in the national team. So most of them played the full 90 minutes in almost all the 2-3 games they played over the international break.
I was
So coming
actually,
back again,
you know,
yeah,
I actually noticed that thing today. Rather this weekend. This weekend, it's actually I finally started sounding like the players. I started thinking like the players. Like this UEFA Nations League. The first time I heard of it in 20 whatever it started, 16, 17, 18, whenever I started. At first I thought it was their qualifiers that they turned into a league, to make it more competitive. Then, that's what I thought initially. But then it dawned on me today. Like people are playing Nations League, others are playing qualifiers. And the people that are actually playing Nations League too, we still have to play qualifier because they still have to go to these tournaments. So these players actually complain about playing too much football. It's actually something to take note of at the end of the day.
Yeah,
At the end
it
of
is.
I didn't creating extra things. It's just sad. It's bad,
I've
man.
been a front runner for advocating on players' health just because of my own
Oh,
personal experience
of course, that's where you are
being
as a professional that you are.
yeah, being a striker that lives to score goals and only is
I beg, I
judged
beg, I
on
beg, I beg, I beg,
scoring
I
goals.
beg.
I think eventually it gets to a point where the games um you know physically tell on you, and in this sense, with what we see now in which is you just asked about Conte, even Slot or Klopp, the likes these coaches that go heavy on their players. I
Yeah,
was on one of these podcasts. I was on one of our records. I said, I don't know if it's this one or another one I'm part of. I said, Conte will catch up with him. The player,
yeah, you
like
did.
he said,
At the
it's not
beginning of the
flexible.
season, you
It
said
goes
it. You said at
hard.
the beginning of the season.
Uh, Good. I said it, and I'm looking at them. They are not necessarily the worst defensively. They've actually considered the least good. They technically have one of the best defenses in Italian Serie A, maybe even the best. But Inter Milan is just a much more balanced team. Inter Milan, not only do they dwell on, and this is Inter Milan that are playing three competition and still actively participating in all three.
Yeah,
But when you
which is
when
why Tunde said it's sad for Conte, man.
so
Sad for
so
Conte.
when you look at it, one of the the factors in respect to these coaches that play heavy football is the number of games. These players will break down at the end of the day, not because they don't want to give their all, but because it just will happen. Our body eventually reacts. The games are a lot. The games are a lot, and FIFA with what they want to do, I think it's going to be interesting with the hype and everything they are doing. They certainly have some of the best marketers, but they don't want to just back down, bringing more competition, bringing more
Yeah,
games.
the money,
Personally,
like the
watch.
business end of football has gone too hard. Business end of football now has gone too hard, man. They don't care about anything other than what can bring like this club World Cup. So when people are supposed to be going on holidays or resting for 2, 3 weeks and then getting ready for a preseason, they're supposed to all still go play the World Club Cup and stuff, man. It's just oh well, they get paid the big bucks now. Maybe that's why they get paid 80,000 per week and 150 like Rashford. 350 rather.
It is what it is. It is what it is.